This is just insane. As a writer proposed, the Oklahoma City Thunder need to trade Jalen Williams and Isaiah Hartenstein and a buttload of picks for Giannis Antetokounmpo over from the Milwaukee Bucks, stating that if they don't win it all or at least make it back to the finals this year, he is going to want out. And he thinks the Oklahoma City Thunder should be the team that trades for Giannis. Now, he's a great player. He is a fantastic player. One of the best in the world, an MVP candidate every single season. But trading away your entire future and someone that just made an all-star team for the first time as a 23-year-old for someone that's almost 30 and would want to be the number one option on the Thunder, even though he wouldn't because we have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, it just doesn't make sense to me. It just absolutely doesn't. So we're going to break down his reasoning, why I don't agree with it here, all right? And also see what the exact package would look like, as it is just absurd when I was looking at it. I don't want to, bash down on other people covering the Thunder and everything. Do what you want and everything, all right? I know people don't agree with me all the time, but this was just blasphemous what he put out there, all right? Before we get into all of that, though, as always, around 63.4% of you guys that are coming back and watching these videos on a regular basis are not yet subscribed to the channel. Like I said, I'm trying to get that to a 50-50 margin here. So if you guys enjoy the content we're putting out, you're new to the channel, and you want to support, all right, the best way to do so is just by hitting that subscribe button. It means the world to me. You guys can do it in like 3 seconds here as soon as we're getting into this video now. It truly does mean the world to me and does so much for the channel when you guys do that. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about this trade package. As I saw from the Sporting News, someone said it in the Discord channel earlier. If you haven't joined that already, you should definitely do so. I'll link that in the channel. It's in the channel bio and everything. It'll be in the video description as well. You can join there. We talk, do a bunch of stuff. All right. But I saw it sent in the Discord. I was like, oh, who are they suggesting that the Thunder trade Jalen Williams for? When I saw it was Giannis, I was like, oh my goodness. Giannis Antetokounmpo, we love him. Yes, he's a great player. He's hilarious. He's good for basketball. He truly is. He would not be good for the Thunder, though. It would ruin the team if this trade happened. Let's look at what he opened with, all right? The Oklahoma City Thunder have an incredibly bright future with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Chet Holmgren in the fold for the foreseeable future. The team has the best net rating in NBA history, but as last year proved, the playoffs are a different animal. Yes, they did prove that, all right? That was their first playoff series in what? 4 years, 5 years? Give them some slack there. That's why it might make sense for OKC to go all in and trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo, who could request a trade if the Milwaukee Bucks fail to make another deep playoff run. ESPN's Shams shared the following intel about Antetokounmpo's future in Milwaukee on Get Up, saying everyone knows that Giannis loves the Bucks. I'm here to tell you that he loves winning more. That's why everyone in that Bucks organization knows what's at stake. They know the pressure. Every summer he looks around and he looks at the Bucks' current roster. He looks at sustained long-term winning. He has said publicly that if that is unattainable in Milwaukee, he will look somewhere else. And I'm not saying he's not going to be traded or anything. I think the Bucks make the playoffs. I don't think they're going to go on like an insanely deep run by any means, but I think they make the playoffs. Maybe second round, all right, potentially getting bounced to the first round because they'll finish around 3 or 4 seed. And, the 5 and 6 are gritty teams over out in the East. It's just one of those things. I look at it, suggesting trading him to Oklahoma City, you're going to have to give up the whole treasure chest, all right, just to get him to land there. That's what you're going to have to do. It just doesn't make sense. You're going to be giving way too much up in any trade for Giannis. And let's go ahead and look at what he proposed, all right? A trade that can make sense for both sides is as follows. The Thunder received Giannis Antetokounmpo, all right? Yeah, makes sense. The Bucks receive, and get ready for this, all right? Isaiah Hartenstein, Jalen Williams, Nikola Topic, 2025 first-round pick via the 76ers. 2026 first-round pick. That's ours. 2027 first-round pick via the Los Angeles Clippers. 2028 first-round pick via the Dallas Mavericks. 2028 first-round pick via Denver Nuggets. 2027 first-round pick via Denver. All right, 2029 first-round pick, ours. 2031 first-round pick, ours. There are a ton of picks for the Thunder to give up, but it's not often when a small market team is in prime position to trade for a superstar who might be seeking another championship, though Antetokounmpo indicated that he's not looking to request a trade. I don't think he's going to request one. I think he will make it known if they don't make a deep playoff run now. It's like, look, got to look at trading me because I'm getting unhappy here. All right, I don't think he's going to go out really and request one. But that trade package is just absurd, all right? Like, first off, giving up Jalen Williams, who is a first-time All-Star this year, has insane potential, has all-NBA potential. He's going to be an all-defensive team this season as well, all right? Kind of a dark horse for Defensive Player of the Year as well. Trading him for someone that you'll have for, 2 years when you could potentially keep Jalen Williams for the future for at least 5 to 6 years? That is insane to me. You don't do that. You trade Isaiah Hartenstein, who, yes, is on a big contract. He's the big salary matcher right there. You do that, though, you're without a backup center. You're back to what happened last season in the playoffs. Yes, you got Giannis back in return. You're going to lose a lot of depth in the future, losing Nikola Topic, who has all-star potential, I believe, in the NBA, if he recover from this ACL injury. Trading him away, you're going to risk a lot there because he could really work out and pan out well, all right? And the Thunder would look at him and be like, man, why did we ever give him up? He could potentially be a starter for the squad. I'm even talking like this squad right now. He could be a starter, okay? If he was healthy, balling out like he's projected to do so, he could get a starting role here next season. And all those picks, what was that, 6, 7 first-round picks? I know it was suggested to do that for Cooper Flagg the other day, but, that's just absurd, all right? Yes, we have Hartenstein, all right? Yes. We need him, though. We need him. We need Hartenstein. That's why we signed him. If we didn't sign Hartenstein, we're going to go after and trade for Lauri Markkanen this offseason. And his reasoning for this trade is kind of absurd. I don't get any part of it. Antetokounmpo would put a ton of pressure on the rim offensively, which would make life even easier for Gilgeous-Alexander to pick his spots in the mid-range. Defensively, Antetokounmpo and Holmgren would make life incredibly difficult for players to attack the rim, given their size and length. Holmgren's three-point shooting would also space the floor to open up driving lines for the Greek Freak. The Sixers pick is protected 1 through 6, but if they end up with the 7th overall pick, that selection could suddenly become more valuable. However, that pick may not convey in 2025 because Philadelphia has a bottom 6 record, but that pick could convey in 2026 or 2027 as any pick that is not in the top 4. The Clippers could bottom out by 2027 with Kawhi Leonard and James Harden aging, so it wouldn't be a shock to see that pick land in the top 5. Nuggets core, he just goes into talking about how all these picks could potentially be valuable. Could. And I think they are going to be valuable. That's why I want the Thunder to hold on to them. Because you can use them as trace pieces to get future picks down the line. Or even use them that year if you get a top-tier pick, if we're top-tier talent. Adding Antetokounmpo to... he goes, so the picks can flirt with the lottery as well, considering OKC's already got a great defense. Adding Antetokounmpo next to Gilgeous-Alexander, Holmgren would instantly make them favorites in a deep Western Conference. First off, they're already favorites in a deep Western Conference. If you have not been watching this team, and it sounds like this person hasn't, they are 45-10 right now. The best record in the NBA. The best defense in the NBA. The best net rating in the NBA. This team is absolutely absurd. They have a top 10 offense in the NBA. They don't really need any superstar to make them the so-called contender. And just everyone gets blinded by the fact this is a small market team, so they don't truly recognize how good OKC is this year. They are contender. They are the favorites to win the final right now. All right? They're the favorites to win the championship. Yet everyone thinks that they're still one piece away somehow. It doesn't make sense. Every media outlet out there is saying this. The Sporting News now, which isn't a major media outlet by any means, but ESPN, Bleacher Report, Overtime, all these major media outlets are saying, OKC just needs one more piece. Trade for another superstar, blah, blah, blah. Even Twitter yesterday was going, they're still one piece away. Should have traded for Lauri Markkanen when you had the chance. No, this team's 45-10. If anything, you trade for a small piece, all right? A small, minuscule piece. That's why I was thinking like Cam Johnson. That's not a piece that's going to interrupt anything. But even then, I'm fine that they didn't make a trade because the team is 45-10. For God's sake. Everyone just needs to get that through their head. You don't need to trade for Giannis. You don't need to trade for anyone else. Unless someone bottoms out in the playoffs here, then you look into trading them. But that's if it's a role player. You're not going to trade your stars. You're not going to trade Jalen Williams after he's an all-star. You're not going to trade Chet, all right, after he was having a defensive player of the year kind of season to start off the year. Now he's balling, coming back, dropping 20 points last night against the Jazz. You're not going to do any of that. So I'm tired of people suggesting all these stupid trades. It just doesn't make sense. They don't need to trade for a top-tier star. They don't need to trade for a top 15, top 20 player. If anything, you trade and get role players. That's what you do. If your role players aren't, snuffing out there, doing everything that they can, you don't win the finals this year because a certain role player doesn't ball out, then you trade them and try to get someone else because they're on very manageable contracts. That's it. You don't trade for Giannis. You don't trade for any of these guys. And don't try to make it seem like they're not a contender, because this is what that dude was making it seem like, that they're not a contender. With that final statement there could truly turn them into the favorites out of the Western Conference. They already are. I don't know if you've been watching the games or what league you've been watching, but the Thunders are the favorites in the Western Conference and the favorites to win the championship. That's all I got for this video. My throat's starting to die a little bit here. Hopefully voice is completely back tomorrow. That's all I got. What do you guys personally think about this just idiotic trade that I saw? That's all I got. See you guys in the next one.